First contact fallacy. The Nexian Dominion had conquered 17 star systems before they encountered humanity. Their technology was the pride of the Galactic Rim. Sleek bioengineered vessels that communicated telepathically with their pilots, weapons that could disintegrate matter at the subatomic level, and defensive shields that bent both light and reality around them. The Nexians themselves were equally impressive. Six-limbed beings with iridescent skin that shifted colors with their moods, and minds that could process information at speeds that would make Earth's fastest supercomputers seem like abacuses by comparison. First contact occurred when a Nexian scout vessel detected radio signals from Earth's outer colonies on Mars and Europa. Initially curious, the Nexians sent a diplomatic envoy to Earth in 2187, expecting to find either potential allies or easy conquests. Admiral Kira Vental, the leader of the Nexian delegation, stood before the United Earth Council in New Geneva, her skin shimmering with a haughty violet glow as she addressed the assembled human representatives. "Your species has only recently achieved rudimentary interplanetary travel," she said, her translator converting her harmonic speech patterns into crisp English. "Your weapons still rely on chemical propellants and nuclear fusion. Your ships still require physical thrusters. In the interest of galactic stability, the Dominion offers you protection in exchange for resource access and technology sharing." Dr. Hassan Biki, Earth's Council President, maintained a diplomatic smile. "We appreciate your offer, Admiral, but Earth and her colonies prefer to maintain independence while establishing peaceful trade relations." Admiral Vental's skin shifted to a dismissive blue. "Independence is an illusion for developing species. The cosmos is filled with predators far less benevolent than the Dominion. You would be wise to accept our generous proposal." That evening, Captain Alina Reyes received urgent orders at the orbital command station above Earth. A 30-year veteran of the United Earth Navy, with bronze skin etched with fine lines around her eyes from years of commanding spacecraft, Reyes had been selected for what might be humanity's most critical mission. "They're watching our official channels closely," explained Fleet Admiral Chandra through a quantum-encrypted communication link. "They've been monitoring our broadcasts, our energy signatures, our visible military capabilities. They've concluded we're primitive." Reyes nodded. "And we're allowing this misconception. For now," Chandra confirmed. "The Thermopylae has been selected as our representative." Captain Reyes raised an eyebrow. The UEA's Thermopylae was not Earth's most advanced vessel, at least not on paper. Officially classified as a third-generation battlecruiser, it had been in service for 15 years. To the Nexians' sophisticated scanning technology, it would appear positively archaic. "The Council is sending the Nexians a message tomorrow," Chandra continued. "We're going to appear to partially concede to their demands. We'll agree to a technology exchange program, but insist on maintaining our sovereignty. They'll interpret this as desperation." "And the Thermopylae?" Reyes asked. "Will be our offering, our obsolete flagship, supposedly revealing our military capabilities. The Nexians will be permitted to escort you to their nearest outpost for inspection. They believe they'll be analyzing our weaknesses." Reyes understood immediately. "While we analyze theirs." 2 days later, Captain Reyes stood on the bridge of the Thermopylae as it prepared to depart Earth orbit. The massive vessel, nearly 2 kilometers in length, represented what the Nexians believed was the pinnacle of human military technology. Its hull was deliberately designed with exposed weapons systems and obvious engine ports, a stark contrast to the sleek, organic lines of the Nexian vessels now flanking it. "Their flagship is hailing us, Captain," reported Lieutenant Commander Jackson, the communications officer. "On screen," Reyes ordered. Admiral Vental's face appeared, her skin now a satisfied amber. "Captain Reyes, the Dominion appreciates your cooperation. Your vessel will be thoroughly examined at our outpost. This exchange marks the beginning of humanity's proper integration into the galactic community." Reyes nodded respectfully. "We look forward to learning from each other, Admiral." As the communication ended, Commander Sarah Chen, Reyes first officer, approached quietly. "They've scanned us thoroughly, Captain. Their sensors have penetrated exactly as far as we expected. And the Faraday mesh, functioning perfectly. They're seeing exactly what we want them to see." Reyes nodded and turned to her navigation officer. "Lieutenant Park, set course for the Nexian outpost. Standard propulsion only." "Aye, Captain." Standard propulsion engaged. As the massive vessel lumbered forward at what would appear to be its maximum velocity, Reyes called a private briefing in her ready room. Her senior officers gathered around the secure conference table. "The Nexians believe they're escorting an outdated human warship for analysis," Reyes began. "In reality, we're conducting the most important reconnaissance mission in human history. Everything about the Thermopylae has been carefully orchestrated to feed their preconceptions about our technological limitations." Chief Engineer Commander Rickard nodded. "The external reactor signatures we're emitting suggest we're still using helium-3 fusion. They have no idea we've actually got zero-point energy modules powering our systems." "And our weapons?" Reyes asked. Tactical Officer Lieutenant Commander Marcus Okafor smiled slightly. "As far as they can tell, we're still using railguns and nuclear-tipped missiles. The quantum disruptors and gravity lenses remain undetected behind the Faraday mesh." Dr. Elisa Nakamura, the ship's xenobiologist, looked troubled. "Their ships are partially biological, Captain. I've been analyzing the readings. Their vessels aren't just piloted. They're symbiotically bonded with their crews." Reyes considered this. "That suggests both advantages and vulnerabilities. Continue your analysis, Doctor." For 7 days, the Thermopylae journeyed alongside the Nexian escort toward their outpost near Proxima Centauri. During this time, the human crew maintained a careful facade of technological inferiority, while secretly gathering invaluable data on Nexian capabilities. On the 8th day, as they approached the massive Nexian outpost, a sprawling structure that resembled a luminescent coral reef floating in space, Admiral Vental requested permission to board the Thermopylae with a small delegation. "Of course," Reyes agreed. "We'll prepare for your arrival." As the communication ended, Reyes turned to her first officer. "Initiate protocol Trojan Horse. It's time to show our hand." Commander Chen nodded and entered a series of commands into her console. Throughout the massive vessel, hidden systems quietly activated while maintaining their electromagnetic silence. The Thermopylae's true nature began to awaken. When Admiral Vental and her delegation of 5 senior officers transported aboard the human vessel, they were greeted with formal military courtesy. Captain Reyes personally welcomed them to the bridge, a space deliberately designed to appear functional but technologically unsophisticated by Nexian standards. "This is your command center?" Admiral Vental asked, her skin rippling with barely concealed disdain. "So, analog." Reyes smiled politely. "We find physical interfaces reliable during combat situations when energy disruptions might affect more sophisticated systems." Admiral Vental gestured to the viewscreen showing her fleet positioned around the Thermopylae. "A wise precaution, perhaps. Though against our quantum-locked gravimetric weapons, such measures would prove futile." "Perhaps," Reyes acknowledged, keeping her expression neutral. "Would you care to tour our engine room next?" As they moved through the ship, the Nexian officers made little attempt to hide their scans or their contempt. They commented on the primitive propulsion systems, the inefficient power distribution, and the crude weapons arrays. In the main engineering section, Chief Engineer Rickard led a detailed explanation of the Thermopylae's visible propulsion systems, carefully avoiding any mention of the true power sources hidden beneath layers of specialized shielding. Admiral Vental interrupted the presentation. "Captain Reyes, we've seen enough. Your species' technology is at least 2 centuries behind Dominion standards. While we appreciate this gesture of openness, it is now clear that humanity requires significant Dominion oversight to advance properly." Reyes raised an eyebrow. "Is that so?" "Indeed," the Admiral continued, her skin shifting to a domineering red. I must inform you that your council has already been presented with our revised terms. The Dominion will establish permanent bases on Earth and all your colonies. Resistance would be inadvisable. Captain Rise exchanged glances with her officers before responding. Admiral, I believe there's been a misunderstanding about humanity's capabilities. No misunderstanding, Vental replied smugly. Our scans have been most thorough. Have they? Rise asked quietly. Computer, disengage Faraday protocols. Authorization raise Omega 793. Suddenly, the lights on the bridge dimmed momentarily before returning brighter than before. Throughout the ship, hidden panels slid away to reveal advanced technology that had been completely invisible to Nexian scans. The ship's energy signature changed dramatically as its true power systems came online. Admiral Vental's skin paled to an astonished white. What is this deception? Not deception, Admiral, Rice corrected. Strategy. Humanity learned long ago never to reveal its true capabilities to potential adversaries. What you've been permitted to see is merely the facade we've allowed. On the view screens around the bridge, the Thermopila's actual weapons systems came online. Quantum phase disruptors, gravitational singularity generators, and temporal distortion fields that could literally slow time around enemy vessels. Impossible, whispered one of the Nexian officers. These technologies, they shouldn't be possible for your species. Yet here they are, Rise said calmly. And now, Admiral, I believe it's time we discussed more equitable terms between our civilizations. The Silent Symphony. Admiral Vental's skin rapidly cycled through colors. Ashen white of shock, crimson of rage, and finally a calculating amber as she composed herself. An impressive display, Captain Rice. But illusions and hidden panels don't win wars. My fleet still surrounds your vessel. Captain Rice maintained an air of calm confidence. Indeed they do. Communications, please display the tactical situation. The main view screen shifted to show the 12 Nexian warships positioned around the Thermopylae. The alien vessels resembled luminescent manta rays, their bioorganic hulls pulsing with internal energy. They were undoubtedly beautiful and deadly. You're outnumbered 12-1, Captain, Admiral Vental stated flatly. Whatever hidden technologies you've revealed, the mathematics of warfare remain constant. Do they? Rides asked, gesturing to Commander Okafor. Tactical. Please reveal our force projection capabilities. Okafor's fingers danced across his console. Suddenly, the tactical display updated to show hundreds of small objects surrounding the Thermopylae, objects that had been completely invisible to Nexian sensors until this moment. Microdrones, Rise explained, each one equipped with a miniaturized zero-point energy module and quantum disruption field. We deploy them the moment we entered this star system. Admiral Vental's composure finally cracked, her skin shifting to a fearful blue-gray. Your vessel released these weapons. The Thermopylae didn't just bring conventional weapons to this encounter, Admiral. It brought an entire autonomous fleet. One of the Nexian officers frantically consulted a portable scanner. It's true, Admiral. These devices, they're generating gravitational distortions that could collapse our shield matrices in microseconds. Admiral Vental's eyes narrowed. You've hidden your true technological capabilities from us. Why reveal them now instead of simply attacking? Because humanity isn't interested in conquest, Admiral, Rides replied. We're interested in understanding, and, when possible, peaceful coexistence. But we've learned through painful lessons in our own history that peace must be negotiated from a position of strength. Admiral Vental seemed to reassess the human captain standing before her. Your species has surprised us, Captain Reyes. Few races have managed such deception. Not deception, Rice corrected again. Prudence. Now, shall we return to your command vessel to discuss revised terms for our species relationship? I believe a mutual defense pact might be more appropriate than the subjugation you had planned. Before Admiral Vental could respond, emergency alerts blared throughout the ship. Lieutenant Commander Jackson's voice cut through the alarm. "Captain, we're detecting multiple quantum rifts forming throughout the system. Vessels of unknown configuration emerging." The tactical display shifted to show massive ships emerging from what appeared to be tiers in space itself. These new vessels dwarfed both the Thermopylae and the Nexian warships. "The Wraith Collective," gasped one of the Nexian officers. "They shouldn't be in this sector." Admiral Vental's skin went pale. "Captain Rice, we must return to our fleet immediately. The Wraith are devourers of civilizations. They consume all technology in their path, assimilating it into their collective. If they found this outpost." Rice nodded sharply. "Commander Chen, escort the Admiral and her delegation to the transport room. Admiral, I suggest you prepare your fleet for possible hostilities." As the Nexians departed, Rice turned to her crew. "Battle stations, all hands to combat readiness." Within moments, the bridge transformed into a combat operations center. Protective fields hummed to life around critical stations as officers prepared for conflict. "The Nexian fleet is forming a defensive perimeter," reported Commander Okafor. 7 Wraith vessels approaching. Their energy signatures are enormous. Rice studied the tactical display. "The Nexians are outmatched. Communications, open a channel to Admiral Vental's flagship." Admiral Vental appeared on screen, her command center in obvious disarray. "Captain Rice, we're activating emergency protocols and calling for reinforcements, but the nearest Dominion fleet is 3 days away. I suggest your vessel retreat while we delay the Wraith." "That won't be necessary, Admiral," Rice replied. "The Thermopylae was designed for exactly this kind of situation. With your permission, we'll take point position in the defense line." Confusion flickered across the Admiral's features. "You would fight alongside us?" "After our attempted subjugation. The enemy of my enemy, Admiral. Besides, this gives us a chance to demonstrate human battle tactics. You might find them instructional." Without waiting for a response, Rice turned to her navigation officer. "Lieutenant Park, move us into position ahead of the Nexian line. Engineering, bring the temporal displacement field online. Tactical, activate the micro-drone swarm and set convergence pattern Omega." The massive human vessel surged forward with startling speed, its true propulsion systems now fully visible. The Thermopylae positioned itself between the approaching Wraith vessels and the Nexian fleet. "Wraith vessels in weapons range in 30 seconds, reported Commander Okafor. "Initiate silent symphony," ordered Rice. Throughout the system, the microdrones began to move in precise, coordinated patterns. Rather than attacking directly, they created a complex geometric web around the approaching Wraith ships. "The drones aren't firing," observed Admiral Vental over the still-open channel. "They don't need to," Rice explained. "They're creating a temporal displacement field, essentially isolating the Wraith ships in pockets of slowed time. Their sensors will detect nothing until it's too late." As the Wraith vessels entered the drone network, their forward momentum visibly slowed. What had been aggressive approach vectors became labored crawls through space. "Now," ordered Rice. "Quantum disruptors, full spread." The Thermopylae's true weapon systems activated, not with dramatic energy beams or explosive projectiles, but with precisely modulated pulses that seemed to ripple through space itself. Where these pulses struck the Wraith vessels, sections of hull simply ceased to exist, converted into base energy. "Gravitational lensing. Initiate," Rice continued, her voice calm despite the unfolding battle. The space around 3 Wraith vessels suddenly warped, causing the massive ships to collapse inward as artificial gravitational singularities formed within their structures. The vessels imploded with surprising silence, leaving nothing but scattered debris. The remaining Wraith ships attempted to retreat, but found themselves unable to achieve escape velocity within the temporal displacement field. "Captain," came Admiral Vental's astonished voice, "your weapons technology. It violates several laws of physics as we understand them." "Not violates," Admiral, corrected Dr. Nakamura, who had remained on the bridge to observe the alien reactions. Transcends. Humanity discovered long ago that what seems like natural law is often just limited understanding. Within 20 minutes, the Wraith threat had been neutralized. The Thermopyla's drone network had contained and then systematically dismantled the enemy fleet without a single Nexian vessel needing to fire a weapon. As the final Wraith ship disintegrated under the combined effects of quantum disruption and gravitational distortion, Admiral Ventall requested permission to return to the Thermopyla. In the ship's conference room, the Admiral's skin now displayed a respectful deep blue as she addressed Captain Rice and her senior staff. "The Dominion has existed for over 2,000 years," she began. "In that time, we have encountered hundreds of species, most technologically inferior, some our equals. Never have we encountered a species that so thoroughly disguised its true capabilities." Rice nodded. "Humanity's history is filled with conflicts where the technologically superior force was defeated by opponents they underestimated. We learned to prevent such underestimation. A lesson the Dominion nearly learned too late," acknowledged the Admiral. "My superiors have authorized me to offer humanity full alliance status within the Dominion, equal standing, not subjugation. An improvement," Rice noted, "but still not quite what we had in mind. Earth is proposing something different. An interspecies council where technological sharing is voluntary, territorial sovereignty is respected, and mutual defense is guaranteed." Admiral Ventall considered this. "The Dominion has never accepted such terms before." "The Dominion has never encountered humanity before," Rice replied with a slight smile. "And I suspect there's much we could learn from each other, given the chance." The Admiral's skin shifted to a thoughtful purple. "The Wraith Collective has been expanding aggressively. Your temporal displacement technology alone could save billions of lives across the galaxy. And your bioorganic ship designs could revolutionize our understanding of sustainable space travel," added Dr. Nakamura. Admiral Ventall stood, her decision made. "I will recommend your proposal to the Dominion Council. I believe they will find cooperation preferable to potentially discovering what other technologies humanity has kept hidden." As the Nexian delegation prepared to depart, Admiral Ventall paused before Captain Reyes. "There is one question that continues to trouble me, Captain. If humanity possessed such advanced technology all along, why maintain the facade of chemical rockets and fusion engines in your public broadcasts? Surely you knew advanced civilizations would eventually detect your presence." Captain Rice smiled. "That's precisely why, Admiral. Throughout our history, we've learned that appearing less advanced than you truly are is one of the most effective survival strategies. The predator rarely fears the prey until it's too late." Admiral Ventall's skin rippled with newfound respect. "A philosophy the Dominion would be wise to consider. Until our next meeting, Captain Reyes." As the Nexian ships departed, Commander Chen approached her captain. "Do you think they've truly accepted our proposal?" Reyes watched the alien fleet disappear into faster-than-light travel. "I think they've learned what countless adversaries throughout human history have discovered. Never judge a civilization's capabilities by its appearance. Sometimes, what looks outdated is simply waiting for the right moment to reveal its true purpose." The Thermopylae turned back toward Earth, its mission accomplished. Humanity's place in the galaxy had been secured not through conquest or capitulation, but through strategic patience and the careful application of hidden strength, qualities that would define human interstellar relations for generations to come.